Welcome to the final edition of vidIQ channel reviews. The final one ever to be had. This is it. We're done after this for the rest of the year. So get your fill, get your notepads, do all that fun stuff. And as you're pulling out pen and paper or wondering how anyone even finds pen and paper anymore, I will begin introducing some of the folks joining us today to review some channels, such as Jeff. Jeff's here.
Hello.
Hello. Do you have pen and paper?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I keep them right here. Always.
Somewhere back there. I see what looks like Lego boxes.
Always.
The instruction manuals, just scribble in those.
Yep,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Viper's here. Where do you write in?
No, I don't really take notes as much as I used to. I just put everything in my phone. But hello, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hello. Welcome. So last one of we're ever doing ever. We're going to review some channels today. And I am excited because, end of the year. I want to know everyone's YouTube goals. So I went and asked, we have a poll, handy poll. Before we get started, I'll let you know the results here. So I asked what your YouTube goal is for 2023. And now it's a poll. I didn't know what to put. So I just went with subscribers as your different goals. 21% of you are looking to get 100 subscribers. 43% are looking to get 1,000 subscribers. And then 31% of you want to get 10,000 subscribers, which I assume means 31% of you are over 1,000 subscribers. That has to be what you meant by that. So yeah. And then for some reason, 7% of you said, "Where's Rob?" Which is kind of funny. So I actually have a surprise for you. Rob left a holiday message for the last live stream ever. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice of Rob to do?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. After the live stream, don't forget to download the vidIQ extension where you can get a custom channel audit, daily ideas, and an AI-powered video title generator. Link is in the description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started.
Here we are, back again, auditing channels for the last time ever of the year. And we have so many channels that have been pre-selected, but pretty soon you're gonna be able to fill out those forms that were mentioned in the video a second ago. In fact, you can start filling them out now. Pretty soon we'll be drawing randomly from those forms. We have all selected some channels though, and we're gonna look at the first channel that submit on the non-gaming form as we kick things off. And they're called How They Won. It's a pretty new channel, started about a month ago. Looks like a lot of strategy going on. It looks like this person, if I had to guess, this is not their first YouTube rodeo, as it were. Let's start with Viper. What are you seeing when you stumble upon this brand new channel?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that this is not their first YouTube rodeo because these thumbnails are excelente. I mean, wow. Like I agree with you. This is definitely not a brand new creator because no brand new creator is coming in here with these type of thumbnails. But I am kind of wondering. I mean, I know I think they only have like 4 videos. They might have some shorts or whatever. I don't know, but they have 4 videos and they got 13 subscribers. I don't know. It seems to me like they're not getting a lot of views. Again, this is a new channel, but still, like even when new channels start out and things like that, normally they get more than like a few views. So something must be going on with this content that's just not hitting with the audience. I don't know. I know that this is not the day that we do that, but there's something happening, I think, with the content because the thumbnails are awesome. The titles are pretty good in my opinion. In my estimation, they're pretty good. I will tell you what I don't like, Dan, is the blank banner. Like we need some type of channel description or channel mission statement on the banner. Where is it at? Just the blank banner is not doing it, man. When people come to your channel, they should immediately know what to expect, or there should be at least at the very minimum a mission statement on the banner to let people know what they're going to get from your channel. So I feel like they're missing an opportunity with the banner. But other than that, they're also a good start. The thumbnails and the titles.
Yeah, I did notice the banner was just the same color they used in their avatar, and they left it. I could see it being like How They Won, stories of rich influencers or something like that,
or rags to riches or something. You know. I agree. There's no value proposition in there. I agree with Viper though. I mean, so either one of two things. Either one, it's not their first channel, or two, they're paying somebody on Fiverr or some sort of graphic designer to create these, or they're really good at graphic design. Because the thumbnails are good, titles are short and concise, which I like. But it could be something in the video, whether it's clickbait, whether it's not paying off. It could be robo voice turning people off. I sort of agree with Viper. Now, mind you, to be fair, it's a new channel, so sometimes momentum can kind of take time, especially if they've only got 4 videos and the channel's only a month old. So it could take a little bit of time to build up, but there could be something going on inside the content that's holding them back, because packaging wise, it looks good. Packaging wise, on the surface, it looks good, but it could be when you click in, you're not getting that level, like the thumbnail and title set a bar that's not being met with the content.
Now, I don't know if you will be able to hear this today, but we'll click into one of these. I just want to see what it sounds like. Can you hear that or no?
No.
So listening to it, it's one of two things. It's either professional voice talent. I've only listened to 5 seconds, or it could be a very sophisticated AI robot voice. It's a very clean voiceover.
Okay.
So I was looking, I'm specifically listening for sound here, because when we've seen so many channels like this, you know, you see like good packaging and stuff, but sometimes they literally do a voice, like a voice robot, you know, like something in the content that's going to turn me off immediately. And that's what the first thing came to my mind was like, oh, is it an AI voice? I'd say the quality is good overall. Like just looking at, I'll mute it for myself too, looking at the different graphics they're doing and the drama, the music they have in there, it all, you know, seems like they're going to tell a very concise story about, you know, a popular influencer. So now I'm kind of wondering, so why is it? Why is that in a whole month's time, not a single video has hit even 100 views? And do you guys maybe think it's just a matter of they have to just keep going? You know, maybe we just got to get a content library built up.
The other thing that with that particular video that you just clicked on, that the graphic that they were using to transition or whatever that was, it was kind of hard to watch. And there are people out there that have epileptic disabilities and things like that. So that might bother some people the way they did the graphics on that particular video. Now, I don't know if that's what they do for all their videos, but for that video, it was kind of hard for me to watch. And I don't really have any epileptic disabilities that I know of. So I don't know. That might have been something for that particular video.
Yeah, you do need to watch out for a lot of like flashing lights, things like that in your content. Got to make sure it's easy to watch for everybody. This one didn't seem to have anything like that. I think with content like this, the only thing I would say, if it's not the fact that you just need to keep uploading more, which I really think that's what it is, maybe the titles just could be a little bit better. You know, it's drop out to 60 million, how Mr. Beast won. It seems like that's what they want to do with all their titles, right? How so-and-so won. And I would keep playing with the titling structure, personally. I think these could be even better, especially when you have certain names on here. For example, there's only 2 of these names that I've heard of. I've heard of Tony Robbins, and I only know that person by name alone. I don't really know anything about Tony Robbins. And I've heard of Mr. Beast, but I don't know the name Michael Saylor. I don't know how Ray Dalio won. I don't know those names off the top of my head. And I think as you keep covering these really rich, famous people, you might find that, you know, there is that disconnect where people are like, oh, that's, you know, based on the thumbnail, I guess that's the McDonald's guy. So is there something else you could say about how they got to their fortune without relying so much on their name recognition?
So here's the interesting thing, Dan. You just said that you are familiar with Tony Robbins and you're familiar with Mr. Beast, but you're not familiar with Michael Saylor or Ray Dalio. I'm not either. But I'm curious that the Mr. Beast video was the one that got the lower views, and he is the most popular YouTuber on the platform. So something is definitely going on, because the Mr. Beast video, in my opinion, should probably have the most views out of any of these videos, but it has the fewest views. So what is really going on?
Yeah. So it could just be timing on that. And I agree with the other 2. I don't know who they are. So we're not leveraging something, but just because we don't know who they are doesn't mean that they're not well known. But I think Tony Robbins and Mr. Beast are more household names than the other 2, in my opinion. But it could be just timing as well, because if nothing's popping off right now in the cultural zeitgeist around Tony Robbins, then it might not be the right time for this video. Same thing with Mr. Beast. I don't think there really is a wrong time, because he's constantly making waves.
Right.
So that's, that is what it is, but that could be kind of what's happening. It could be just the timing on the videos. But for me personally, from what we've seen so far, I think consistency is going to be their best play, and continue keeping going with what they're doing, is going to be the strongest push and strongest advice that I can give them. Uploading at a pace that works for them, is going to be the key. But yeah, it's definitely every video for a channel like this, uploading at this quality level, every video is going to be another chance to get seen and to pick up subscribers.
Yeah. I would say for this channel, going back to the banner real quick, take one of these videos, take your favorite one, make it your channel trailer. And you did. That's good. Get you a channel banner of some kind that explains a little bit more about who you are. And the reason we bring that up is because of this right here. This is the subscribe button. This is the one people tend to click the most. And I believe the reason for that is because people want to know who they're subscribing to. This is as close as they're going to get to buying something of yours, right, on YouTube. So they would like to know, okay, well, who's this person all about that I'm about to commit to, right? So they go to your channel. They want to look for that really quick, like, okay, who is this? Okay, this is their channel trailer. This must be a good representation of the types of videos they're going to make. Here's stuff they've done in the past. Here's some shorts. Fantastic. A value proposition. This is your one chance to be like directly to their face. This is the kind of content that I make. I'm committed to making this type of content. So it is very important, and it'll reach people more than you'd realize.
Wait, so this creator is doing shorts too?
It did seem that way, yeah.
Yeah, even the shorts are not getting views, and they're short.
One here.
One. This is an odd channel. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of keeping at it, though. There's not a ton of content, even on their shorts tab. Not a ton of stuff. And part of this on YouTube, part of like being successful is going to be building up that content library. Get yourself a whole bunch of videos so that when people do find one, they want to stick around to your channel. They want to see what else you've got. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with just continuing to upload and let this library kind of build up over time.
For sure.
Cool. All right. So that was the first channel that submit on our non-gaming forum. And now we're going to take a look at the first channel who submitted on our gaming forum. They're called NotSoShabby, and they're playing one of my all-time favorite games, RimWorld. RimWorld is it's an indie game. It had a time where it was very, very popular. And now I'd say it's just got a really strong community. From what I know about it, it's one of those games that doesn't really like trend like it used to, but there is a very like hardcore RimWorld community out there. So what this channel has chosen to do is make their entire experience on their channel about this one game. So they're tailoring all their content to one community, which makes it very, very easy for them to do content research and try and figure out what sorts of things are going to get this community excited. And it's, again, when you're focused on one thing, it's very easy to know because you're going to go onto the Steam forums, you're going to go onto the subreddit, you're going to go onto Discord, and you're just going to watch. You're going to watch conversations and see what's happening. And so you'll see here that some of these videos are very hit and miss. They try to do a seasonal one, RimWorld time-lapse Santa's Workshop. They have one here, Santa's Crack Shack for Christmas. I think they're taking RimWorld and going a bit more edgy with it. I saw some videos down below that also looked pretty edgy. So that is a very interesting strategy. My advice off the top of my head, and I'll throw it to you guys, see if you have anything to add, is that I think they should make some videos that are just guides, just simple stuff. And that doesn't mean their entire channel needs to be guides to RimWorld or anything like that. But it could be guides on downloading mods for the game. There's a lot of mods. There's a big, heavy modding community in RimWorld, and it looks like you might be using some. So there's that. And there's a lot of strategy involved in RimWorld. So you can certainly be giving people some tips and tricks on surviving your first days in this very brutal game that I've played, and it's very hard. That does not mean, again, that you are a RimWorld tips channel. It's just a really good way to establish yourself in the community and try and get some people to recognize who you are before you do these more interesting videos that don't really have any kind of like basis in the community, as it were. As of right now, like a lot of these seem like your original ideas. But when you do a challenge, like surviving 100 days in the worst RimWorld biome, 3,000 views. So see if you can do some tips and tricks, and see if you can do some challenges like this too, because there's a lot of value in videos like this as well. If you can survive 100 days in what you're calling tropical hell, then people are going to watch that and try and see how you did it, especially people who are trying to get better at the game. So they're going to get a lot of introductions to who you are as a creator. They're going to get to know you, but they're going to get something out of it too for their own experience in the game. But yeah, this creator seems to be testing a lot of different ideas. What about you guys? Is there anything you're seeing on this channel? I just decided to rattle off all my tips at once.
I was gonna wait for Jeff, but all right. So yeah, it seems like I mean, obviously, like you said, they're covering this game, but there's no purpose to these videos except for to showcase the game. Like you said, they should maybe think about doing some tutorials or some how to accomplish such and such. Like what is it, the Furrowless Jungle, a Dark Rimworld Tale? Like why should I watch that video? Like what's going on in that video? Like what is going to compel a viewer to watch that particular video? Or the Rimworld time lapse? Like, okay, Thanos Workshop, I mean, what's so special about the time lapse? Like, what is it going to accomplish for the viewer? When you're making these videos, you got to think about how does it benefit a potential viewer? And the only thing that I'm getting from these particular videos is that if you like Rimworld, then yeah, you might want to watch this type of content. But if you don't like Rimworld or whatever, then what's in it for me? So that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment too, because there has to be something in it for the viewer, right? And we have to make that very, very clear. You know, that starts at the title, starts at the thumbnail. And that's always why I push so hard for people to take care of the title thumbnail first. But topic is also top of mind, right? The topic has to make sense. The topic of the video, there has to be value in it, right? For the viewers. And then get your title, get your thumbnail all in place to make sure that it's selling it. It gives me a reason to click. So no, I completely agree. And one thing I also like is when we're looking at that challenge video, that gave me a reason to click. And that's one thing where what I like to do sometimes is look outside of my own niche to see what types of challenges are working in other niches that I could apply to this type of content. It can work, it can work, because sometimes if you see it, it's like what we're looking at is like the psychology of the better titles and the better thumbnails, but the idea itself, could be great. Surviving blank in the worst blank, right? Is really what it comes down to. And that could apply to anything. So you just gotta, I don't know. For me, it's a bit about research, looking at what is really drawing people's attention, especially in the gaming niche. It could be a completely different game. Right. And you could see challenges being done for Minecraft or for Roblox or for whatever, to be completely honest, and see if those ideas would make sense in this game, to see if you can bring something a little original to this genre. But it's going to take a bit of research. It's going to take a bit of time. You're going to have to do some work and really look into it. But I think that little bit of advice can go a long way, especially when we had that challenge video perform as well as it did.
So, like, looking at these videos here from a couple months ago, there's like a really clear difference between the 100-day Tropical Hell Challenge and then the video that came right after it, which was a Rimworld Tragedy. And you put the same text in the title and the thumbnail, and it goes back to what Viper was saying earlier, like, what's the value in this video? Like, why would I click on that? And it's because in this video, it actually looks like you're taking the game and doing something with it that people recognize. People who play the game know exactly what that is. They don't have to think about it. They know what it is. To me, as just someone who looks at a lot of channels, I know what you're trying to do here is probably tell a story using Rimworld as like the stage for that story, and I respect that. I think that's really cool, a very creative way to use a game. However, when you're making videos like this, you have to title and thumbnail them in a way that makes sense to the audience. And it's very challenging to do. It's hard to take something that's very direct and forward, like just very in your face, surviving 100 days in the worst biome, versus a Rimworld Tragedy. Like, how do you take a Rimworld Tragedy and make it more recognizable to people who understand Rimworld and the mechanics of Rimworld? Because the other one you did that got almost 10,000 views, creating an insectoid army in Rimworld. If you've played the game, you know what that is. Like, there's these insects and you've created an army of them, which means you've taken the game and you've used the mechanics to do something really, really interesting. Just like the 100-day challenge, you've taken the game, you've used the mechanics to do something interesting. It reaches the whole audience because everyone who plays Rimworld knows. But how do you get them to care about the cool stories you're trying to tell? And I don't have a great answer for that. even as someone who's played the game, I'm not exactly sure. I haven't seen the video, so I don't exactly know what I would title this video. But I would always be thinking about that. Like when I title videos that are more clear and to the point, I get more views. So how can I use RimWorld to tell a fun story, but also scratch that itch too of like, hey, this is the game you know and love. It's just I did something different with it. It's very challenging. I think you can do it. Keep experimenting. I would say these are your flagship type of videos. These are the ones that are going to introduce you to a lot of new people. And then these are the videos that express your creativity. These are the ones that are going to make you more memorable over time. But it helps to kind of build up this audience first. And it you know, as you grow and grow and grow, more people will be in your camp to kind of give those more niche videos a chance. So
all right, Dan, you mind if I talk about thumbnail for a moment?
For this channel?
No, in general.
Oh.
All right, so you guys know I do the thumbnail audit every Thursday on Twitter. And a lot of y'all, especially you gaming creators, you are doing the same thing in your thumbnails that we repeatedly tell you not to do. So I just want to take a couple of minutes or two just to explain why we tell you all that you probably shouldn't do it. Although at the end of the day, you can make your own decision. But a lot of you all are putting part numbers in your thumbnails. And I've explained this before as to why you shouldn't do it. But let me just go through this real quick here. The reason why I think, in my opinion, that you should not put part numbers in your thumbnails is because it could potentially alienate potential viewers. And what I mean by that is, if you have a part number in your title or your thumbnail, the viewer might think like, okay, I can't get the value of this video because I have to go back and watch another video or another set of videos. And you don't want to do that. You want to craft your packaging in such a way where every video can stand on its own independently. When you do that, it makes the viewer much more likely to click on it. So when you are out there putting part numbers in your thumbnails, you are defeating that purpose of having that video be able to stand independently on its own. And you are potentially alienating a viewer if they feel like they got to go watch a whole playlist to get the general gist of that one video. I got news for you. Most viewers aren't doing that. 99% of viewers are not going to go watch your playlist of videos because you have a part number. If they feel like they have to watch the whole playlist, they're going to skip to another video or another creator. So this is why I keep telling y'all, avoid putting part numbers in your thumbnails, even in your title. But if you're going to put a part number in there, put it at the end of the title. Do not put it in your thumbnail. Just leave it out of there. But if you guys can, feel free to chime in on this if you have any thoughts about this too.
Yeah, no, I agree, because you're putting the burden on the viewer immediately. So just don't do that. Make sure that your videos can stand alone on their own. It's like when I hear people talk about they want to do shorts as like trailers for their videos, and I'm like, no, your short has to stand on its own. Like it has to be its own thing. So can it be related to your long forms? Of course. Preferably, yes. But it has to be its own thing. So no, I completely agree, dude.
The videos I watch that are part of a series, I tend not to go back and watch the older ones, even if they're clear that there were. And the creators I watch are very good at what they do because they give an intro, a very brief intro, like, you know, we built up this thing, blah, 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 blah. You can go watch that if you want, but you're caught up now, and they get into the content. And if I really want to go back and see what they've built, like if I'm talking about like a game, for example, if I want to see what they built up to this point, it's my choice. It's my choice to go back. But there was enough context in the intro that I was like, got it. Okay. So this was a thing. We're just in part 2 now. Whatever. You acknowledge that I may not watch part 2. And that's all I personally need. As long as you went into this content knowing that some people aren't going to see what happened before, you're going to be able to make a video that is successful.
Yep. And the other thing is that if you do have a series of videos, put them in a playlist. Because if you do that, then there's a chance that YouTube is going to recommend that next video in the playlist. And you don't have to go through the trouble of putting a part number in your thumbnail or title, because YouTube is going to automatically recommend that next video in the playlist anyway. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say is if you're doing some sort of training, right? Or if you're doing some sort of education that's compartmentalized part by part, then yeah, put that in a playlist. So it's literally that simple. That's what playlists are for. So yeah, that's definitely something. And you can also do that in your video description. You could do a pinned comment with the different parts. Like, hey, you just watched part 5. Here's part 6. It's like, you have so many tools to do that. You have the pinned comment, you have the video description, you have the end card, and you have a card that you can put into the video. You have 4 areas that you can do that, where you don't have to put it into your title or your thumbnail.
So we got a bunch of super chats here. We'll go over a couple of these real quick.
Sure.
Jonathan sent us $1. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Dark Mobian asks an odd question. Will watch time for shorts eventually be counted towards public watch time? If you don't know, will you update us when you find out? I don't think it ever will, but I don't know. And yes, we will come screaming with content the second that changes.
Yeah. So as soon as that comes up, yeah.
Yeah. But I think right now YouTube is more focused on how many views you get as a short creator instead of watch time. Shorts are they're so short that it doesn't really make sense to count them in watch time. So I don't think that's going to happen either.
Yeah, and if you're looking for more places to get updates about YouTube, news, things like that, we are on all the socials, Instagram and Twitter, and wherever you get your socials. vidIQ is there. We also have a blog, fabulous blog, dives deep on all kinds of topics, sometimes deeper than we get into in live streams and videos. So highly recommend the vidIQ blog. So just different ways to keep up to date. And then also we got one here from Soj. They say, how do I get more views? I do everything myself, and in 2 months I've grown to 525. I'm assuming they mean subscribers. I mean, it's a very simple question. That's why everybody's here. We're going to try and help everybody with that today. So if your channel isn't on the screen, that's why we said at the beginning, take notes. I say that partially joking because it's kind of funny, the idea of people sitting down watching a live stream and taking notes, but people here do it. And a lot of times it's the most silent people taking notes during these live streams that are the ones we find later that have grown very quickly, because they don't necessarily care if it's their channel being audited or not. It's going to be everybody getting value, hopefully, from the channels that are seen today, because we're going to give a lot of tips on an array of things. So
but also for context, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
500
subs in 2 months, don't sell yourself short, man. That's really good. That's really good.
That's really great.
Yeah, so just don't sell yourself short. But yeah, definitely listen up, because we were always given tips. And if you don't see your channel up on the screen, just like Dan said multiple times, pull your channel up so that, beside it, so you can see what you're not doing.
Yeah, it's kind of about taking yourself out of your own shoes for a minute and just like looking at your channel through a different lens. So hopefully looking at the channels we're going to see today, which yours could get randomly picked, that'll happen. Why do I get people to watch, or how do I get people to watch my shorts? Sorry. How do I get people to watch my shorts is another very common question we get. The simple answer there is to make shorts that people want to see. And my advice here would be to watch shorts. Become a student of it. Watch as many shorts as you can. Try and find ones that are specific to the ones you would like to make, and start to take notes. For example, I said this, I think, last week. I've been watching shorts a lot lately, and I stumbled upon 3 in a row where the first thing in every single one that happened, the voice in the short said, "Did you know?" And I started, as soon as I picked that up, I couldn't unhear it. And now when you watch shorts, try and listen for it. How many shorts do you find in one session where people say, "Did you know? Did you know that?" Like they're going to launch into a story with that. So it's just about those little hooks, those things that people say that kind of stop your scroll and kind of get your attention. And I think that's what I'm trying to do to get better at making shorts, is to learn from other creators and see what's successful for others.
Yeah, the thing about shorts is that you got to hook them immediately. Like as soon as the shorts start, you got to have some content that's going to draw them in and keep them there. So it's all about the beginning and how you begin that short.
Yeah, that is the title and the thumbnail. The first few seconds. Forget titles and thumbnails. When it comes to shorts, that is the title and the thumbnail. Someone just said, "Do Cardi, please," but they give us a super chat, so thank you. I don't know what that means. I assume you meant channel review. We cannot give channel reviews based on super chats, but I do appreciate super chat. I'm a small Valorant streamer on YouTube. Any advice? Jeff, Viper, we love live streaming.
Yeah, no, definitely love live streaming. I would say stream with a purpose. That's really the key. Treat your live streams like a video, right? So title, thumbnail, and also what are you gonna show them on this live stream that's gonna be worth it for people to come back and watch it during a replay, right? Because the last thing you want is for your live streams to only be like, you have to be there while it's live, otherwise there's no replay value. That's the last thing you want, especially if you want to grow your channel off of live streams. So I recommend coming up with a game plan, whether it's going to be a challenge, whether it's going to be a fun game with the audience, whatever it might be, but think of some ideas that can make it fun for the viewers, as opposed to, hey, I'm just streaming myself playing games. I really hope that's not all you're doing. I really hope that there's a purpose behind it. Like, hey, here today, I'm going to show you guys, level 1 or whatever, just whatever it might be. It can be tutorial-ish. It could be challenges, whatever it might be, but go into it with a purpose and use titles and thumbnails accordingly.
I think that's everything. Honestly, I always tell people, especially in gaming, set a goal. Like, even if you can't achieve it, one that's conceivable, but title, thumbnail, while you're live, like, people should know what am I going to click on. So trying to avoid, like Viper earlier said, part numbers. Like, try to avoid that for your live streams. Like playing Valorant today. Cool, me too, I guess. Try to give yourself like a purpose in that. So the more you plan, the more you win in live streaming.
100%, man.
And then last one here until we get back to some channel reviews. Tapula, I hope I'm saying Tapula. I'm so sorry if I'm not getting that right at all. Follow some of your tips, but I can't gain subs. So what do you think I can do to gain more subscribers?
Well, first things first, you can't ask if you want. You can't ask for subscribers. There is always a call to action if you want to try that. There's always, it's always in how you ask, right? Saying like, comment, subscribe doesn't really work. If you can put it in at some point in the video where you've already delivered on value, giving something to the viewer already, then at that point say, hey, listen, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit that subscribe button for me. Otherwise, the best way to get people to subscribe is to provide value, making videos that give somebody something, whether it's entertainment or education or a mix of both.
Well, I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately myself. And one thing I've noticed among a lot of creators, no matter what the niche is that they'll start the video and then either maybe 1/4 of the way or halfway through the video, like Jeff said, after they provided value, they will have that call to action right there. They will say something like, if this video is helping you out in any way, please consider subscribing, this, that, and the other. And that is what you want to do, because again, at that point, you then have given the viewer a reason to subscribe to your channel. You provided value. Don't do it at the very beginning when you've done nothing for the viewer. Again, it's all about the viewer, you all. Y'all kind of make fun of me. You get mad at me when I tell you all this, but it's about the viewer. Why should they keep coming back to your channel? So if you can provide that value, then by all means, go ask for that subscription. Do that. Do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. Always make content that the same person would want to come back and watch again and again and again. Every time you upload, you want to cater your content to one specific type of person who has a very specific type of interest. And that interest, you get to choose. You get to choose the type of viewer you want, because that interest should align with what you're interested in. But that's what you want to do. That's the biggest thing. All right. So thank you for your super chats. Appreciate you. We may take some more of those. If we have time, we'll try to get to everything before the end of the live stream, but sometimes we don't make it. So do keep that in mind. This live stream tends to go for 2 hours, and we're a half hour in already. So keep in mind the time there. Thanks, everybody. We're going to get into the next one here. I think, Jeff, this is one you picked. It's 605 Bolt.
Yep.
Tell us about 605 Bolt.
So 605 Bolt is actually a longtime viewer of the streams, and we reviewed their channel months ago. Might have even been last year. But it was a while back. Rob was with us and everything. The reason that I saw that, and I looked and I was like, oh wait, they submitted their channel. I have seen him in the chat, multiple streams, almost every single stream. Is that they have made some serious improvements. So going back to their like really old thumbnails, you can see where they've made these adjustments to where they've listened to the advice. They've made things much, much cleaner, much easier to understand. And in addition to that, when I checked out a couple of the first videos, they're getting straight into the content really quickly. So I figured, hey, you know what? Since they're taking the advice, obviously, that we could try to see what else they can tighten up on. So from what I'm seeing so far, it looks like they're still working on Ford, whether it's F-150, the Ford Focus. So I like what I'm seeing. I think if anything, one thing I think is a missed opportunity here with this channel could be doing listicle content around tips and tricks for these specific vehicles. Like, let's say I just got this car. What are the 5 things that I should do first? Things like that. So I would want them to start thinking along those lines of, how can I help a person who just bought this vehicle or somebody who's owned this vehicle and is maintaining it themselves? What are some tips that I can give them as a pro? But I'll let you guys jump in and see what you think.
There's a great example down here, like oversized intercooler lines, ice tank. So it looks like it says cooling mods. And I think this is the difference between content where you're just trying to fix something that's broken, which depends on somebody having a problem, right? And content where you're trying to show someone something cool. So if you have a Ford Lightning and you're showing off mods for it, that content isn't depending on something having gone wrong first. It's just something new. Hey, you're in this community with me. Like you and I both have Ford Lightnings. So here's something cool you can do with your Ford Lightning. So, and I think you should do both. I think there should be like, because I think there's a lot of value in that search driven content. Like, are you having this problem? I can help you fix it. But I think that you should kind of find a balance between that and then stuff you can do if you're in the same community as the creator, you know, in this case, this Ford community.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like these videos, and Dan kind of alluded to it. These videos have a purpose. They have context. Installing a ported Eden boost bypass actuator. That is showing somebody how to do something intentionally. And like Dan said, cooling mods. Like these videos have a explicit purpose to the viewer. So if you're a viewer and you like working and tinkering on cars, there's going to be a lot of content on this channel that you can benefit from because they're showing you how to do certain things with your Ford. So this is what I was talking about earlier when I said that we need intention with your content. These videos definitely have that intention, and there's a lot of value here for a potential viewer, and there's a lot of value that's going to keep people coming back to the channel over and over again.
There's something I've never, like we've seen some car channels before, and I've never given this advice to a car channel, but it just popped in my head, and it might be of interest to you. It might not be. I'm looking at the content though, and I'm realizing like, okay, the easiest content for this creator to make would be content that revolves around cars they have access to, whether they own those cars or just family, friends, whatever. You could probably do a whole bunch of content fixing different parts of them, modding them, whatever that might be. Maybe you have a shop, and so you get to see a lot of different cars. That could be a whole channel, but I don't think it's too far outside your niche to maybe talk about certain things. Like, for example, there's all kinds of new cars. Every single year's new cars, but there's always news around those cars that isn't widely covered. Recalls, for example, you know, things you saw at a car show, stuff like that. So I kind of wonder if you become like the Ford, maybe this is for the future of your channel, but you kind of become a Ford guru of sorts, where you're showing off all these different things, but every so often, like if there's an important recall for Ford owners, and even if it's not a car you own, you just heard about it because you're just in touch with what's going on, you make a video about it. You're like, hey, get this fixed now. You know, you need to fix this right away. And you explain what's being recalled, why this happened, why it's important that it needs to get done right away. Like, I can just see that being a good place to kind of take the channel as time goes on, you know? So it's, you know, you have these videos that are very specific to, you know, certain models of cars, but popular ones. And then you're also talking about the new stuff. You're not going to go out and buy a car every year just to keep your channel alive, but you can definitely talk about the different things that are happening in the community.
Speculative content, 100%. I would tell people that forever. Well, they'll say, "Well, I can't make a video because I don't have it here in my hands." That is not true. There are literally billions of videos being had, channels getting whole monetized, getting brand deals, getting all kinds of stuff off of purely speculative content in every single niche. So, no, I completely agree, man. You can totally do that.
Yep. Well, there you go. That was 605 Bolt. I believe the next channel, Viper, this is one you picked, TJ Bucketman. I got a laugh out of these thumbnails when I saw this. Tell us about TJ Bucketman.
Okay, so this is interesting because I went to this person's about page just to see what the purpose of the channel is, and I immediately started shaking my head when I read the about section. So this TJ Buckman YouTube channel is about gaming, movie show and reviews, reactions, and the Bucket people. Okay, so here's the thing: nobody knows who the Bucket people are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got gaming and movie reviews. So, in my opinion, you are doing a little bit too much. You need channel focus, and what I mean by channel focus is you need to, out of all the stuff that you listed on your about page, maybe pick one or two things that are kind of related and then run with them. Because when you start doing variety content, then you become unpredictable. And you know how human beings are. You know how we are. We do not like surprising. We do not like volatility and unpredictability. So you can do this if you don't care about growing your channel. You can continue on your current path. If you don't care about growing, hey, do not listen to Viper. Do what you do. But if you want to grow this actual channel, you're going to have to incorporate some channel focus. You're going to have to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do going forward, and then start to do that thing over and over again so you can build that trust with the audience, and then you'll see your channel begin to climb in growth.
I think this is a fun concept, though. I mean, I agree with you. There's a community here. Like a lot of videos getting over 500 views. There's definitely something here. And I kind of feel like to have a broader appeal, it is going to be a channel focus issue. Like between doing movie reviews and TV shows and video games and all this stuff, like there's TJ Bucketman is about too many things. And I think if you just chose your favorite out of all of those and you just happen to be somebody who wears a bucket when you do your videos, you know, you could probably still go far. And it could be just a funny gimmick that this person reviews movies all the time, but he always wears a bucket on his head and he never references the bucket. He never talks. He like does these serious movie reviews, but he's TJ Bucketman. And I think there's something to that, but it's still, even if it's a person wearing a bucket like that's the part of your channel like that gets people to stick around, right? Because there's something endearing about it. The part that gets them to come in the first place, though, has to be something of value to them. It has to be on the surface. It has to look like something that they're going to get something out of. Even if it is a guy with a bucket on his head, it has to be like, oh, I'm gonna talk about Stranger Things, you know, and that's because I'm always talking about different Netflix TV shows. But you're going from too many. You're topic jumping too much.
Also, we've said it before, but I'll say it again here right now. You guys should probably avoid doing dedicated channel update videos.
Yeah.
You are using real estate in the wrong way when you do that, because again, you have to remember that every video that you put out is a chance for new people to view you. And new people do not care about how your channel is doing. They just want quality content that they can resonate with. And if you make enough of that quality content for them, they will come back. But doing dedicated channel update videos, you're wasting. That's a wasted video. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, for this channel, it's working okay because they have built a community. Just to be fair, they're getting decent views on these update videos. But most of the time, 99% of the time, yeah, I completely agree. It's just doesn't seem to work. That's a good place if you want to celebrate in the community tab. You know, because I've done that. And even in a video where I did a review of something, I actually, you know, said, hey, I just reached 4,000 subscribers in the beginning of an older video. To this day, that was like 4 years ago. To this day, people are congratulating me on the 4,000 subscribers. So it's just like, hey, congrats on the 4K subs. I'm like, thanks, man. So, but yeah, that's one thing where I'm also not a fan of it. But just like Dan said, I do agree. There's something to this. I've seen people do all kinds of wacky stuff when I've been looking, you know, through my trips and also talking to creators specifically. I knew a guy who would wear, like a stocking, almost like he was going to mug you, you know, like he wears a stocking over his head. I knew a guy who wore a fox mask, like, it was almost like a geometric fox. So, you know, I saw a guy wearing something like that as well. Huge communities built up around them. So it can be done. It can work. It won't be for everyone, but for a lot of people, it will. Like me wearing shades. Same thing with Viper. Some people can't stand it. They just can't stand it. But most people can see past it because I'm delivering value. So that's the difference. But no, I'm kind of excited to see what TJ Bucketman does here, man.
Y'all can't have our shade, bro. You cannot have the shade. Deal with it.
Like, man, so I click on the shorts and I was expecting, you know, something related to TJ Bucketman, and we had a couple here, but you're doing these Lego Guardian of the Galaxy advent calendar shorts, and this just couldn't be farther from what I would expect from TJ Bucketman. Like, I was expecting life as a guy with a bucket on his head, you know, like I think that would be like a funny series of shorts to do for TJ Bucketman, who's going around, like, you're trying to do normal things. Like, imagine one of you driving, and I would do this in a very controlled, safe environment, but like you get in the car and stuff, and it's, you know, for you don't think anything's wrong, but imagine the B-roll of like outside the car and it's like swerving everywhere, you know, like I think you could do a lot of, and please don't, like, have someone else drive the car. Get a stunt person. Like, don't just do that. But
disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. Don't do that. But it's just, I'm trying to think of like things like imagine living life with a bucket on your head, and then imagine that in YouTube Shorts form, somebody who actually went and did that. That's what I was kind of hoping to see here. And there's like a couple of things where you're doing stuff with a bucket on your head, but now we're seeing something completely off brand, and it's getting views. But here's what's happening: shorts and long form videos are tied together now. So people who see this are getting recommended videos that look like this. and they're not going to click on these. They're, you got thousands of views on these, and people are like probably just going to scroll right past these because they like Legos. You're attracting a Lego audience here.
Yeah. Lego shorts need to be on their own thing.
Yeah, and you got to be really, really, really careful about that, because you're gonna find yourself getting subscribers that aren't interested in what you're doing, and you'll be like, why am I getting so many dead subscribers? And this is why.
Yep, 100%, man. And they're making more and more inroads on connecting shorts to long form videos. So something to keep in mind. And this happens, like sometimes we don't know. Like we don't know the things that we don't know. Just like when I was first starting out, I was talking about all sorts of stuff because I didn't realize that I needed to be focused on a very particular viewer. So I couldn't figure out why my videos weren't, picking up. Some would and some wouldn't. And I'm like, what is going on here? So, but yeah, I think that's some good advice for TJ here.
Yeah. I mean, people are just kind of spitting out ideas. Bucketman dating.
Hey,
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Just what kinds of things could you do? And I think YouTube Shorts is the perfect place to do it. It's going to be hard to sell that in long form video form. I think it could be done, but a shorts would be a great way to start a channel like that. But again, that's when it becomes more of a personality channel, and you wouldn't want to rely so heavily on popular IP. Instead, it's going to be like, what is TJ Bucketman getting into now?
Yeah.
And the content needs to be about everyday life with a bucket on your head. Otherwise you should commit to being for example, movie review channel that has a bucket on its head. Like one or the other. But to me, these are two completely different channels.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, should be on its own channel.
The Lego channel's a third one.
Yeah, exactly, man. Cool. Good stuff.
All right. Saber Outdoors. Jeff, I believe this was you.
Yes. Hang on. So let me see here. Bam. Sorry, I had to get my tab back together here. So yeah, Saber Outdoors came across this channel, 147 subscribers. They've got some meat on the bone here. They got some stuff that we can definitely talk about. One of the things is thumbnails for me on this channel, because specifically what these look like to me are screen grabs. So the first things first, let's not do this. Let's not do this because you're doing yourself a disservice. The content here, from the titling and from the way that it comes across in the video that I watched, this person is providing value. The problem here is that they've got a good product, but they're not packaging it correctly. Not just the thumbnails, titles as well, but we'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, thumbnail wise, we need to come up with something like, so let's go with this, right? Day 11 right here, the second video. What can I make out of this junk? Easiest way to build a PVC bow, I believe is what it was, right?
Yeah.
But the thumbnail doesn't tell me that. And you're not showing me the final product. So that's the problem there. There's a massive disconnect there, because if it was something like so if the title of this video should be easiest way to build a PVC bow, we don't need day 11. We don't need what can I make out of this junk. We don't need any of that. You can say that in the video. Easiest way to build a PVC bow can stand on its own. And then the thumbnail should be you holding the finished product. So just something to think about, but I really want this Saber Outdoors to take a step back and really focus on creating thumbnails as opposed to just pulling these screen grabs, because these screen grabs are just, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're really hampering your own growth here.
So when I think about the thumbnails, I got reminded based on the day 11, day 9, day, you know what I mean? All the different days they're doing. I got reminded of Ryan Trahan's Penny Challenge, where the day numbers made sense here because he in this series is literally on a journey. So I survived on a penny for 30 days, day 24. And the thumbnails did a lot of the work on these videos because the title was always the same. So Ryan does different things in each video and has gone out of his way to make sure the thumbnails are really clean and they present a really nice image. Notice in his thumbnails, all the backgrounds are very clean. Like we saw on Saber's channel, there was a lot of trees and stuff in the background. But like, imagine you holding the PVC bow and you had a nice blue sky in the background, and so you can see very clearly like what's being held. So I would look at some of these channels, and I wouldn't hold yourself to the standard or anything. I would just try and like work your way towards this. Where you have limited elements in your thumbnail, and they're all saying they're all supporting the title, and they're all kind of trying to show a very interesting thing that happens in the video. I don't know. That was the first person that came to mind when I was looking at these thumbnails. Like, a PVC bow, I could just imagine the blue sky background and this person holding this hand constructed bow, and like, what a cool thing, you know. But with these thumbnails, it's like you said, screen grabs. It's just a still from the video that YouTube grabs, and YouTube's like, okay, this is like the best spot, I guess, for me to just kind of take a thumbnail for you.
Back when I was first starting out as a creator, I used to partake in something called Veda, video every day in April and August. And when I was doing my Veda videos, I would put such and such, whatever the title was. And then at the end, I would put Veda day 1, 2, 30, whatever the case may be. And I remember Roberto Blake telling me that, yeah, you don't need to put the day in your title. Put whatever the value of the video is in the title. And you like you guys say, you can mention the day in the video or whatever the case may be, but you don't have to include stuff like that. Like I said earlier, you don't have to include part numbers. You don't need days such and such in the title, because again, that is sacred real estate. At a certain point, when you make a title so long, YouTube will truncate the title so it gets cut off in search. So you don't want to make the title any longer than what it needs to be. So don't put unnecessary stuff like days such and such in your title. Just leave that off.
Yeah, and I would like to know day 9 of what? Like, it doesn't really say. It just says day 9. Like, is this a challenge that you're doing? Are you like trying to live out in the wild? It looks like you're living out in the wilderness maybe for a certain amount of days, or it just
they did an intro video, but you don't know that. You know what I mean? As a viewer of any of these other videos, you wouldn't know that. So he has a video called like 14 days of
12 days of outdoor highlight video, or sorry.
Something like that. Yeah, event starts December 14th. So so he kind of intros it in that video. But you don't know that when you land on one of these videos, right? So no, I totally agree. We wouldn't know because it doesn't say. He can say it in the video, but that, if anything, that strengthens the purpose of not even having that in your title.
Yeah, definitely. We want to make sure that each of these videos, just like the Ryan, Trey, and Penny ones, like, even if you watch in the middle of the series, Ryan does a really quick like intro about what's been going on lately in the journey, and if you choose not to watch the rest of them, that's fine. You know, I want you to consider your audience with every one of these. Like, they have to be able to get into the content and watch without having seen the other days. And I think you're doing that with each video. It seems like you're doing a different thing, an individual thing that stands on its own. So I think you're probably already doing that. But it's just not clear by the titles and the thumbnails right now. It does feel like I probably need to go back and look at more to kind of see what the context of day 11 even is. And we don't necessarily want to see that happen. So nothing wrong with going in and retitling some of these just to test it out. But you could just know for your next video. I'm more focused on your next upload. What could you do to kind of change the pitch of the video? All right. Let's do a couple different things before we get to our next channel. Real quick, I just wanted to give everyone I wanted to plug this really fast. If you didn't know, vidIQ has a public Discord server, and all kinds of things are happening in the server. You have different channels for all sorts of different types of content. We have the thumbnail channel where people are giving advice on titles and thumbnails, and then people are sharing their success on YouTube as well with their achievements and things like that. So vidIQ.com/Discord if you'd like to join folks in there. It's a very active community. We have a new community manager who's helping us run that place, and it's going awesome. And by the way, if you jump in there, we have an introductions channel. Go in there, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. And if you're already in the Discord, do us a favor, say hello. We've noticed that people love to introduce themselves, and not a lot of people go in there and say hello. So we want to make an effort to try and get people to give everyone a big warm digital hug when they get into the Discord server, and try and learn a little bit about your fellow creators. I'm just going to put that out there because I've noticed the intro channel is always a one-way street. How would you feel if you walked into someone's house and you said, "Hey, how's it going?" And they weren't warm to you at all? You just busted in their house. They were just trying to enjoy their dinner, and you took the time to introduce yourself, and you were wondering why they just ignored you or called the cops or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And try saying something nice for every time you troll someone. Balance it out, because there's a lot, this is what I see in a lot of Discord servers, including my own. So it's like, there's going to be a rule. Every troll comment, you got to say something nice to someone. At the very least, if not twice, 2 good comments for every troll comment, at least.
It's the Discord version of the swear jar.
Yeah, literally, yes.
FBI, open up.
Thank
you for the super. And let's get into some of these other supers here. We have King Bob Gaming. My channel was focused on modding, but my animations have gotten millions of views. Should I change my channel even though I almost have 50,000 subscribers? It's hard to imagine what this channel is right now. So they said they're gaming, King Bob Gaming. They're focused on modding, so I assume in video games. But then they decided to do some animations on their channel, and those got millions of views. I have to imagine if you're getting a lot of subscribers from those, that's your answer. That's the pivot, right? Like you're getting subscribers from the animations, but not the modding videos.
You could always just drop the gaming and just keep it as King Bob.
King Bob animates.
If they really want to go that route,
yeah. This is exactly why we talk about like channel focus too. It's this exact situation. If you're ever going to do something on your channel, like a Lego Advent Calendar, right, and has nothing to do with your regular content, you need to be prepared for that content to be successful, and you have to have a plan in place because that could happen just like it did to King Bob. And now suddenly you're trying to figure out, wait a minute, what kind of channel am I? There's nothing wrong with pivoting. There's nothing wrong with just, okay, and now I'm an animation channel. And so there's really successful channels out there that have made those types of changes early on. I'd say 50,000 subscribers, that should not weigh on you at all in terms of your decision, other than where did those subscribers come from? And even if it was from the modding videos, maybe you should still ask yourself, perhaps I should do a separate gaming channel and keep this as an animation channel. Because if you're getting millions of views on a certain type of video, keep doing that. All right, no one else chiming in. I'll go to the next one here. Can no commentary gaming channels do well versus gaming channels with commentary?
Okay. I would say they can, but think about this to yourself, right? And I don't know, I'll let Viper go in a sec too. What would you prefer to watch as a viewer? Someone who's talking, being entertaining, and taking you step by step, or nothing whatsoever? It's a different type of viewer. But for me personally, I prefer to have a connection with somebody who's going to kind of break things down, or if they can make me laugh while they're explaining or showing me something, much, much better.
Yeah, I've said it many times on these live streams. It is called YouTube. You have to inject a sense of your personality into the content. And when there's no commentary, that's kind of hard. It's not impossible, but you really have to be a master editor to really be able to infuse that level of personality into the content without commentary. It's been done. People are doing it, so I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's a lot better and easier for the viewer when you just include commentary. So it really is up to you. It's your personal preference, but me, Jeff, and I'm going to probably speak for Dan, I think we all prefer commentary.
Yeah, there's a big it depends on all this, though. What it depends on is exactly what you're doing with the game itself. For example, there's a lot of really successful gaming shorts that don't have commentary, but it's because they use music and sound effects and captions and different things to tell a different kind of story. If you're just going to play Tomb Raider, for example, and you're going to play it from start to finish silently, I don't think anyone's going to watch that because IGN's already got people covered with that early gameplay footage and things like that. But if you're going to be taking a game that is not linear, and you can put your own spin on really easy, maybe you don't necessarily need commentary, but you need something to inject, like both Jeff and Viper said, your personality into the content. People need something to connect with. Because if it's just going to be you playing a game and there's nothing else that I can't get from turning on the game myself and playing it myself, I'm not going to watch. There's just nothing there. So the most successful no commentary channels I've seen are ones that are still doing hard work. It's not going to be easy for them, and it doesn't look easy too. They go out of their way to put a lot into those videos, even if they're not talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, agreed.
Dad's Gone Live went from 24 subs on October 15th to 3,529 subs today. That is very quick.
Nice.
Congrats. In about 2.5 months. The advice on your channel has helped me grow so much. New IRL streamer here.
Man, tell me your secret. What the hell you been doing out there? What you been eating your YouTube Wheaties? What the hell, man?
He did. He said vidIQ is the secret.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations, man. That's awesome, especially for an IRL streamer. Dude, that's amazing, man. So congratulations.
Yeah. Cardi. When I start watching vidIQ, I was at 5 subs, but now 2 months later, I'm at 523. Thank you so much, and congrats. Martin was just testing. You're just trying things out. We appreciate it nonetheless. I want to thank you guys for the advice you've given over the last 4 months. Because of you, my video editing, thumbnails, titles have improved. I've gone from 3 subs to 550. Everyone's getting like up to 500 subs, 3,000 subs.
Nice.
Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate that. And one more here before we go back to channels. Mr. Herobrine says, my goal is to reach 420 million subs on YouTube one day. Do you think that could be possible? You did ask us this once. I think it was literally you, because I recognize the name. I forgot. I think at the time I said certainly could be possible, but I don't think anyone else has done that yet. So
yeah,
I would try and set yourself goals along the way, more realistic ones you could achieve. And at the end of the day, make your channel about your viewers. It's great that you have that goal, but I'll be honest, your viewers probably don't care. Make your channel about them. Do something that people would want to subscribe for.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I love these super chats because it just shows that the things that we're telling you all out here work. Like you have people literally telling us that it work, and they're super chatting us to let you all know that the stuff that vidIQ is telling you work. So again, I know a lot of y'all are mad because you don't get chosen to get audited and things like that. And you have to remember, there's like thousands of people submitting their channels to get audited on a weekly basis. So we can't get to all of you all. But these people out here have been watching these live streams, watching our content over the past years that we've been doing this. And they've taken the stuff that we said and applied it, and you see the success. They just literally told you that they're having success doing the things that vidIQ is saying that you should do. So go out there and get it done. It's being done by your neighbors, so why can't you do it?
Yeah, exactly. And also want to say a quick shout out to the creator liaison, Renee Ritchie. Thank you for joining us in the chat.
Renee. Yeah.
Hey, man.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, everybody. Viper. One of your picks here, Pawn to Queen.
Yes, Pawn to Queen. So I was looking at the About page, and obviously this is the chess channel, but the thumbnails are not doing it for me. That's why I wanted to pick this channel. So this YouTube channel is apparently supposed to teach a viewer how to play chess, and that's cool, but the titles and the thumbnails are not doing it for me. I kind of feel like the thumbnails themselves could use like a human being in them, like maybe holding a chess piece or looking like they're going to make a chess move. I think that'll make a more personal connection to a potential viewer that might click on the video instead of just having these arbitrary chess boards and chess pieces on the thumbnail. So I feel like the thumbnail can use work, and the titles. How to set up a chessboard correctly? I mean, that's okay. I think there could be a little bit more to that title, and then you got chess puzzle like Mate in One. Like what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Like if this is a channel for a beginning chess player, you have to make the content digestible for people that have no idea what chess is and they want to learn how to play chess. And I feel like you could use a little bit of work in this area, but I think your work starts with your thumbnails. You have to figure out how to make these thumbnails more relatable and more simplistic for people that want to learn how to play chess, because these thumbnails are kind of intimidating for a newbie. So you got to make these thumbnails more simplistic for beginners that don't know anything about chess.
I think there's an opportunity in the latest video. How to set up a chessboard correctly. They did a do and don't, but those the do and don't almost look exactly the same. I think the difference is too subtle. So what if you would instead of splitting it, it was one chessboard, but it was obviously set up wrong. You set it up like bowling pins, you know, like you're the chess pieces in a triangle, and you know it's and an arrow pointing that says don't do this or something like that. I think there's other ways to communicate these messages that are just a little more clear, because I have to look at this really carefully to see the right and wrong way that you're trying to demonstrate in these thumbnails. They have some shorts as well. Checkmate anyone in 3 moves. Fastest checkmate. See, now this I like. In terms of titles and like pitch of the video, I think you should be doing more like this, and I think this translates to long form videos too. I think you do the strategy very quickly in a short, and then do a long form video that breaks it down. Like, how do you even get in this position in the first place? Yep, there's definitely something to this channel. They started 2 years ago, but as of recently, it seems they've started to upload again. I think you should keep going down this road right here. And again, it doesn't have to just be shorts. But I think this concept is very easy to digest just by looking at these 2 right here. All right. Well, best of luck to Pawn to Queen. Yeah, I would like to see that channel again here soon. So I have something else cool to show everybody before we get into random selections. That's right. Pretty soon here, if you've been submitting your channel on the forums below, We are going to randomly start selecting them. So get ready. Before we do, I want to show you a cool new tool. While this is an early preview and you have a vidIQ account, you can try this out. Maybe we can help you with some stuff and some things. This is our personal AI coach. So think Chat GPT, but specifically for your YouTube channel. And there's a few prompts here now, kind of giving you some ideas as to what you can do with your AI coach. So for example, fix this title. You can give it a title to try and give you some extra examples. Write a script for YouTube video about. So we can try that one. Write a script for a YouTube video about, let's see, getting checkmate in chess in under 5 moves. And it will take a moment to think, and then it's going to help you outline a script for the video that you're working on. There are all kinds of ways you can use this, and we would love for you to try it out and give us your feedback. While this is, again, an early preview, we are looking to give folks, feedback and make improvements. Sure thing. Here's a sample script for a YouTube video on getting checkmate under 5 moves. I won't read the whole thing. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to learn how to get checkmate in chess in under 5 moves. First, let's start by introducing the chess pieces. The king is denoted by a capital K and can move in any direction 1 square at a time. The queen is denoted by capital Q. So they're even the script generated here is even imagining what might be on the screen. So denoted by a capital K, capital. So now you're thinking about how would this video actually look, and it's actually giving you some really good examples here. Let's look at how to get the checkmate under 5 moves. The first example is a variation of the fool's mate. This involves the queen and rook working together to checkmate in 2 moves. The queen moves 2 squares to the right. It's actually like attempting to give advice on chess itself here as well. And all I did was give it 1 sentence, and it gave me a very serviceable script, or at least a start to a script for a YouTube video. So there's a lot of ways you can have fun with this. Highly recommend checking it out. The link is down below. If you go to app.vidiq.com, which is our web app, and you go over to AI Coach, you can find it very easily. So yeah, just wanted to share this once again. And we've trained it on all things YouTube. So there you go.
For the record, this is not ChatGPT. It's like ChatGPT, but it's not ChatGPT. We have specifically trained it, like Dan said, to understand and comprehend all things YouTube. So, but it's important to note, though, we have trained it to comprehend and understand all things YouTube up until 2021. So it doesn't know anything about 2022. So its knowledge is kind of limited, or limited, a little limited, but it can still help you come up with a lot of ideas and a script as you just thought. So try it out. Let us know what you think.
There you go. All right. It is time to get into random selections now, and we cannot do this without a little bit of help. And it's the Claw, joining us once again here to pluck your channels from obscurity, and we're going to check them out. We haven't seen these channels before. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to go wrong. Probably a lot of things. Jeff, you excited?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm always excited for the Claw.
Jeff is tired of the Claw.
That was better than smashing that pig, I'll tell you that.
That was a one-time thing. It's gone now.
That was disturbing.
We couldn't use it again. We completely ruined it. All right, so we have 395 submissions on the non-gaming forum and 396 submissions on the gaming forum. They are neck and neck today. I want to see these gaming channels show up to this party. So we're going to go to the Claw. We're going to unmute the tab by accident. Let me try that again. And we're going to type in 400 just to get the next few people. And it's going to pick out number 216. It's going to do that from the non-gaming forum. Again, those forms are linked down below. And this is how it works. So let me go to a new
what do we
tab.
got?
Future Tech. They have 650,000 subscribers.
Nice.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here, yo?
Sometimes this happens, and I always wonder if this is them or somebody just wants to see what happens if they submit a channel that they watch that has a lot of subscribers.
Yeah. We've seen that happen before.
So because this channel obviously doesn't, I mean, do they need our help? If I look at the views, the couple 100,000 views on these for their sub count, I'm pretty happy to see that. But then sometimes like 20,000, 30,000 views. My partially sarcastic advice here would be to do more of what's working and less of what's not working as well.
Sort by popular.
Oh.
Okay. So it's been a minute since they had, it's like 2 years on their 2 top videos. So yeah, they're doing some listicles with 10 coolest gadgets and stuff like that. So I don't, and those are the ones that are really doing well. If you look at like almost the second row is like 10 cool, 8 new, 10 mind blowing, 8 coolest, 8 new latest. So the listicle stuff really seems to work in their favor. And this is obviously on a tech channel. It makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? If Viper knows that we watch a lot of tech channels, and listicle content, top 3, top 5, top 10 usually work really, really well. So definitely focusing on that stuff makes a lot of sense. But I'd really be focusing more on stuff that people can like get right now, and not focus too much on stuff that may be coming soon or not available yet.
Okay. Dan,
Is
can
this-
we go back to the most
For Jeff or Viper, can you see if this is the verified user in chat? It doesn't show me in StreamYard.
let me.
But
see.
I think this is actually them.
It is.
Yeah, that's them.
Okay. All right. I apologize. I did not expect.
The question here though, I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem at all, because the kind of content that you're making, you're going to get a lot of views from Google search. That's actually what you want. If anything, external traffic is being driven because people are finding yourself, like your videos are ranking at the top for search. So my channel does the same thing. My own personal channel, it does the same thing. So when people search for a particular product, the products that I talk about, I rank at the top. So I usually get a lot of search traffic, both YouTube search, but a lot of it comes externally from Google search. So yeah, I don't see the issue here, because the kind of content that we're making, the kind of content you're making here, same type of content I'm making, is search-based content. We're not aiming for browse. We're not aiming for suggested, even though we will get views from those traffic sources. Our bread and butter for these types of channels are going to be Google search and YouTube search. So I don't see the issue here.
Also, I would direct your attention to the blue. Oh, never mind, Dan.
Oh, what? No, go ahead.
No, I was going to direct his attention, or their attention, to the VPH that vidIQ has on pretty much all the channel pages. VPH view per hour. If there's a hot video on there that has a lot of view per hour compared to the other videos on the channel, that means you should probably make more content around that video that has the highest VPH, which is right now your most current video. So it seems like that one's getting a lot of views for you right now. So you might want to think about how you can make content that is around that particular video, because it's probably going to do well.
The average time people spend watching them has also decreased significantly from around 3 minutes to 120. Interesting.
Yeah.
So a bit of a retention issue then. People finding these from outside of YouTube and they're watching for...
I think that has to do with search as well, because sometimes when people are searching for stuff and they're only going to watch a portion of the video to see if it's what they want, and if it's not, then they're going to click off immediately. So that has to do with search probably too.
And if you're having issues with retention, that's when you need to look at your retention graphs and start changing the way that you edit. Whether that means you're editing, whether you're hiring an editor, whoever that person is needs to be paying attention to the retention charts. And for some stuff, it's just not going to work great. Like some of my retention charts on my listicle videos look terrible, but they're still pulling in a ton of views. So that's why I don't worry about that too much, because they're still pulling in a lot of views and doing the job that they're supposed to do, giving people the knowledge. Like for a lot of my top 5 videos, I'll get a huge spike at the last end of the video where the number 1 thing is. Like people are just skipping right past number 5, 4, 3, 2 and going straight for number 1. But it doesn't seem to hurt anything. The channel's still doing well. The video's still doing well. So I would suggest not worrying about that too much in that sense. But that's the first place I would look. If I remember having an issue with watch time decreasing, I'd be looking at the retention charts and making sure that either you or the editor is paying attention to that as well.
I have one suggestion, and I haven't seen any of your videos, so forgive me if this is already what you're doing. It's just not clear from the titles or thumbnails. Instead of doing top 10 gadgets that you found on Amazon, maybe you should do top 10 gadgets of a specific type that you found on Amazon. So top 10 strange hair trimmers, you know, like make it about the same type of product and do a listicle about that, because that to me, like if I'm going to click off a video, it's because maybe there was 2 or 3 in a row that I wasn't really interested in, right? But if the pitch of the video was something that I was interested in, like hair trimmers or whatever it might be, and the whole video is about that same thing, I'm probably more likely to stick around. It's just something to try just for a future video. And again, I don't know the structure of these. You might already be doing that, but could be something to play with.
Yeah, for sure. But they're doing, I mean, overall, they're doing super, super well from what I'm seeing, and probably driving a ton of affiliate revenue. So, you know, that's, I say keep doing what you're doing. Keep going, you know, looking at what isn't working and what's not working is fine. 11 advanced gadgets, cool. But I agree with Dan. If you can make it specific to a specific type of person, a specific type of use case, then I think that could work much more in your favor than just 11 random gadgets. You know what I mean? So, but just something to think about.
Yeah, like I don't know what this Mechascape thing is, but before it was about a scooter. And then there's this voice activated mirror, and these are cool. Like, so you could do smart home gadgets, but like a scooter doesn't really fit in with smart home gadgets, but the mirror does. You know what I mean? So try and categorize these as their own, like put each one in its own little house. Like this one's gonna be about smart gadgets. This one's gonna be about things that like motorized vehicles and things like that. And just try it out. And that's specifically like retention advice. I'm trying to get that person who clicked on your video to stay on your video.
So before we move on, I got a message for y'all in the chat. And the message is to be humble. And the reason why I'm telling y'all this is because I see y'all out here like, go on to another channel, they don't need help, blah, 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 blah. But you all have to understand that even bigger creators reach out for help. And there's the reason why they become bigger creators, because they know that they're not complacent. They don't settle. They know that they can be better. So they come to people like vidIQ and other people to help get advice. So just because you're not there yet and you're trying to get there, people with less than 1,000 subscribers aren't the only people that we help. We help people with millions of subscribers as well. We have clients that have millions of subscribers. So y'all gotta understand, man, we help everybody. And the people, the channels that get big, they get big because they don't rest on their laurels. They don't stay content. They're constantly evolving. Think about I Just Think, Market Brownlee, Mr. Beast, Logan Paul. They didn't get to where they are by staying still. They're constantly trying to improve and get better. So don't be surprised when you see channels with like 600,000 coming here asking for help, because that's how they got to where they are. So there you go.
Fun fact, YouTube is harder as you grow.
Literally.
So fun fact. So if people think YouTube is hard when you're under 100 subscribers, trust me, it gets a lot harder, because you have to always remain, 1, humble. 2, you have to remain a student for life on a platform that's constantly evolving, with an audience that's constantly shifting, with interests that are constantly shifting. So you have to do that if you want to keep growing. So huge shout out to Future Tech for coming in here and submitting their channel to have us take a look at it. We can all learn from this stuff. We can all learn from it.
Yeah, I apologize for casting doubt. We've had a number of, like, as I'm going through the forum every week, a number of trolls, like, just posting really big channels, just silly channels. So my first instinct was like, oh, here we go again. But no, it was cool to see them in chat. It was cool that they had, like, legitimate questions. And I hope that people, again, were taking notes, because there was a very interesting conversation there around a channel that's very successful, but feeling like, okay, but I'm not reaching the goals that I set for myself. And you'll get there one day, whether you're at 600,000 subscribers or 60 subscribers trying to get to 70. There's going to be those roadblocks that you hit. And I'm really excited to see. And again, like we have vidIQ Max, for example. Jeff, you're one of the coaches in there. We have tons of people in there. We have people over 1 million subscribers in vidIQ Max. People still working towards goals. And for them, probably business goals. Like they're trying to get to a point where they have employees working for them. So there's a lot at stake once you have other people on your payroll.
There's differences, at the early starting point, you're starting off with the basics, but once you get those basics down, then what? Then you move on to more advanced stuff. But once you get that down too, then what? Right? And there's always more to learn. Even myself, I'm 6 years into this. I'm still learning. I'm still finding something, writing it down Monday morning, saying, these are the things I need to work on this week. that's going to improve my channel, that's going to improve my business. These are the things I need to work on, because we have to keep doing that. If you don't, if you just get complacent, you just sit on your laurels, you're gonna get the results back of what you're putting out. So you have to make sure you're out there trying to make improvements wherever possible.
Yeah.
All
right.
I love how Jeff said that, man. Yo, when your channel gets big, it gets hard. Yo, it doesn't get easy. It gets hard out here. Yo,
it does.
Elon.
It definitely does. So we're going to go back to the forums now. We are going to look at a gaming channel. There you go. I do hope that Mr. Herobrine is happy. We are at 420 responses for the gaming forum. So let's check it out.
Sheesh. Just had to throw that in there.
401.
Hey.
The gaming forum. All right.
That's a late entry, 401. That's a late entry.
That's someone very recently
Mm-hmm.
looking for a channel review. There you go. It can happen to you too. Blazefire, thank you for submitting your channel. Looks like a Roblox channel to me. Videos under a minute long, and then you got some longer videos here, 8 minutes, 3 minutes. And how long have you been at it? There's about a year. All right, trying stuff for about a year on YouTube. And if we go to popular, 1 or 2 videos, let's see, yeah, 3 videos over 100 views, which is some really good data. I would say that what you were doing in these videos, this is where I would start. Okay, what worked? And this is just from a month ago. Your top video is from a month ago, which is really, really good to see. Jewelry store robbery leads to high-speed pursuit. And we have a, police officer in a police car. So the thumbnail is giving me that visual cue of that high-speed pursuit, the consequences of that. The title, so the thumbnail and title are supporting one another. That's good to see. I think what you should be working on is more, I assume this might be a role play. I would be doing more role play in whatever Roblox game this was. I'd be trying different things. And as you try these different things, I want you to start practicing making custom thumbnails for your videos. Not taking a screenshot and not editing it at all. I mean, literally take your screenshots, but edit them into really nice clickable custom thumbnails. And there are some great examples in the Roblox community of, that you can look at. But that's going to be up to you to kind of do that research. I just want to look here. There's a merch store. There's someone else's channel. I'm not getting any good signals as to which Roblox game this is, but let me just type in this and see if anything comes up. No. Roblox. Okay, so this is a game in Roblox. That's good to see. There's a couple questions to be asking myself. Is this a popular game in Roblox, or is it just too new? Are people not really looking for it? And I'm looking, and I'm not seeing a lot of views on the games that on a particular game that popped up. There is 11,000 views on one that doesn't look like it's maybe the same game. So when you're playing around with the gaming channel, you're partially going to rely, in this case, on the game's own success. So if no one's looking for this game, it becomes even harder to grow. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then the thumbnails we did see were a little more clear as to what was going on versus yours. We have a fire truck. We have very minimal text, and we have a character, and they're on the run. In this one, it's just a fire truck. These ones, this is a very nice thumbnail of 2 fire trucks coming out of the station there. And this one actually got 3,000 views. So it looks like it's actually from the game makers themselves. There you go. Still good examples of thumbnails when they are nicely done, nice and clear as to what's going on. So do your thumbnail research and do your game research. I think in Roblox, it's going to be tough. There's certain games in there that are not as popular as other games. That was me rambling for a bit about Roblox and thumbnails. You have more focused thoughts, Jeff?
Not necessarily, because you gave them a lot to work on, especially for a channel that's still trying to get to 100 subscribers. They got a lot of work they need to do. But aside from that, no, man, I'm good.
All right. So there you go. Blazefire, thank you for submitting your channel. Custom thumbnails and Yeah, double check on that game. That might be one that's going to be kind of tough for you. The ceiling feels a little low, but it could also get popular one day. Maybe you'll be the first there. But taking gambles like that in gaming can be very defeating when they don't shake out.
Yeah.
All right. We will look at the non-gaming forum, and we will bump up the forum number here to 440.
If you all want to have a chance to get your channels looked at, we have forms in the description that you need to fill out. Asking us in chat is not going to get it done. We're taking directly from the forms down there. So go down to the description, make sure you fill out the appropriate form, and then you have a chance to get your channel selected.
All right, it's the Thomas Bros. Submitted very recently, and they are doing, I want to say maybe challenge videos. Catch me win $100.
Seems like skits, right? Kind of
skits. Yeah. Really clear thumbnails. Look at this. Look at this latest one. This is the kind of simplicity I like to see in thumbnails. Very clean background, just a couple of elements. Viper, what are you seeing as we scan this channel?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I like the simplicity in the thumbnails. Like I told you all before, but simple is more with thumbnails. People or viewers should be able to look at your thumbnail and within like 2 seconds or less figure out what your video is going to be about and what value they're going to get from it. If your thumbnail is too complicated, if they even have to think about it by looking at your thumbnail, you lost them. They're gone. So you got to make it real simple, real easy to understand. And also your title has to be simple as well. That's why we keep telling you guys, shorten your titles, make them short and simple. But thumbnails, it's the cover art. It's so important. Definitely important to keep it simple and not confuse the viewer. So I love the simplicity of the thumbnails. Even the titles here are pretty simple. So I think they're on the right track.
Yeah, I agree for what they're doing. Even this one, well, I know we're on popular now, but I think could it be that they're a shorts channel? Because when Winter recently uploaded, it seems like there's good sized gaps in between these long video uploads. No, not really. So I think they're doing more long form than shorts.
Some of the shorts have a pretty good amount. Well, this one has a pretty good amount of views.
Yeah. So I don't think they're necessarily a shorts channel. But that could be what's going on. Go back to recently uploaded for me real quick. Yeah, so 2 months ago. So there hasn't been an upload in 2 months. The previous one was 4 months ago, then 5 months ago. So maybe it's one video per month. So if that's what they can manage to upload, so be it. But I think consistency is really going to be the thing to kind of help them out. Like they've got the 318 subscribers, which is not bad. Views are actually quite healthy for that type of a channel. I think more than anything else is figuring out a path to creating a schedule that's going to work, even if it's just once a month, whatever works for you. But I think that's going to help them because every single video is going to be another chance for people to find you, for people to like your content, especially with the thumbnails and titles already kind of being on point. It's really going to be about getting the content out.
Yeah. There's a lot of good examples here of videos that did very well. So I think, I'm noticing ones with trick shots and things like that. Like this ping pong one is your best video at 11,000 views. I would be trying to do even more ping pong trick shots. I'd be trying them in shorts. I'd be trying everywhere. In fact, your most popular short looked like another ping pong video. Most bounces wins. And you can see a ping pong ball. So like, there's something there. Like you obviously have some kind of skill, like people enjoy watching it. I'd be looking at that, but then I'd also be looking at I love this thumbnail, low budget Lord of the Rings, and they got themselves, in makeup and they have a ring pop. And I think everything about this worked. It worked for a lot of people. And so it's take these successes and try and learn from them. Like what else can I do? What other low budget movies can I do, that are very popular? How I Flipped a Nickel, I would say that's your strongest thumbnail, but at the same time, was it overproduced? Because when you look at this one, it's a very simple concept. It's kind of hard to see. I would say white wall with kind of glowing white ping pong ball. This thumbnail could have been even better, but it worked. It was, simple thumbnail, and you're doing these ping pong trick shots, and you have the ping pong ball going across, so everyone can just look at that and see what it's about. But How I Flipped a Nickel, like what if like the nickel was in motion already, and like it looked like you were like mid flip, like your hand was in there. Like what maybe motion helps. I would just keep testing and iterating every video you do. Just keep playing with different concepts and base them off of the videos that have worked in the past. You know, there's a lot of really good signals here, though.
Also, I'm gonna give you guys a tip that Jeff gave me a long time ago. When you're working on your thumbnails, think big. So whatever the focus of your thumbnail needs to be, it needs to be big. So if you are talking about a car and you got a car in the thumbnail, the car needs to be the centerpiece of the thumbnail, which means the car needs to be big. Because again, you got to remember, most people are watching on a mobile device. So you're talking a 5, 6, 7-inch screen. So when you talk about looking at a thumbnail on that scale, whatever the focus of your thumbnail is, it better be big so people can easily see it and understand what you're trying to convey across in that thumbnail. So think big when you're creating these thumbnails.
Yeah, I think I would have taken that nickel and blown it up to take up more of the thumbnail. Kept him the same size and just made that bigger so it really, really pops off as a nickel. But aside from that, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, you want it to be highly, highly visible.
A lot of negative space. You're not wrong. Yeah, a lot of negative space in the corner there. So yeah, keep going. This is really, really strong, especially for like young creators. It looks like you guys got like a lot of friends and you're kind of doing different things. This is, out of those types of channels that we've seen, like a really, really strong showing. I'd be very proud of the work you've done on this channel.
Yep. Yes, sir. All
right. We'll look at the next channel on the gaming forum now. 434 now, so we're already covered with the claw. 238.
Don't be late.
Thanks. Decisive Gamer. All right. Your subscribers. Gaming is an emotion, says their channel banner. All right.
They're decisive, though,
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like they've decided to play Spider-Man Miles Morales. To not an inconsequential amount of views. I'm kind of surprised to see, this is an older game, but it did come out on Steam not that long ago, which means it's gotten a new audience, a bit of a resurgence here. So I'm surprised to see some of these views, but at the same time, now I think about it, yeah, not too surprised. This is good. What they're doing with the game, I'm not sure. Title thumbnail wise, it looks like, I don't know what any of this stuff is here. Is this like a music?
It seems like they're trying to incorporate like popular music into some type of montage or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough because you're probably going to get some copyright problems as you go forward. You get some views though. You incorporate popular game, popular music, and you're good at editing that together. Probably a lot of fun to make. Just be aware that you could get your channel into some trouble, depending on how the copyright owners feel about that. So,
yeah, music is always going to be a difficult subject on YouTube. It's just from what we've seen so far over the past like 10 years. So I would be very, very careful about that because I'm seeing Sunflower, Post Malone, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, like cool, but you open yourself up to copyright claims. So that could be an issue. And then as Dan's scrolling, we're seeing that they've been playing other games. So it could be a bit of a pivot, which can hurt or it can go well, depending. But you just have to always keep in mind as gaming channels, the closer you can stay within the genre of game that you're in, the better when it comes to these types of pivots. If you're playing action games, cool. But let's say he's playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then suddenly he shifts over to Need for Speed Unbound. Like that's a totally different audience. So I would be careful about which games you're picking when you're going about that. Not saying don't play those games, but as always, be picky about what you actually put on your channel in front of your viewers.
Yeah. Again, you want that same viewer who watches like these Miles Morales videos to come back to your channel with every single upload. So if you're making music videos and stuff using these games, and let's say you're just going to continue doing that, but then you switch games completely, it might not draw in the same crowd, especially if it's not a game that's anything like the Spider-Man games. Vice versa of that though. If you started doing different uploads for Spider-Man Miles Morales, where you were just playing through the game, giving tips and tricks or whatever, the people who were watching you for your heavily edited music video compilations, those folks are not getting what they subscribe for. And so when we talk about this, what we're trying to do is help you get that snowball effect on your channel. Like if you can keep catering your content to the same kind of viewer, you're going to get some subscribers, and then you're going to get some views. You're going to get more views and more subscribers. And because you're super focused in your audience and you have like a good connection with them, that's going to snowball. It's going to move faster and faster and faster. But right now we're seeing the topic jumping. It's not only these music videos and the games that you're playing that are different. It's the type of content. We're going from 2-minute videos to 27-minute videos. Like we're seeing you do like walkthroughs and things like that. So you're trying to put too many things in one place.
Yeah. Focus.
So it's channel focus. It's time to pick your audience and determine what your goals are for your channel.
Agreed.
All right. The next up, we will go to, we'll bump up the claw here to 450.
And before we run out of time, Dan, we also got to jump into some supers.
Yes. Let's do this channel and then do that. Are you serious, Claw? Try again. There is no 450 yet. Just,
come on.
Claw. Just
the Claw's drunk, man.
434. Sure. Okay.
The Claw had too much eggnog, I think.
Yeah, it is that season. I apologize for the Claw's behavior. We can't take it anywhere. All right. Is this a game? What did I do? Hold on. Gaming channel, no. Vector 3. Roblox scripting. Okay. All right. So they're doing code. They're using Roblox.
Close. That was a close one.
Yeah. We almost rabbled at you. Okay. So scripting a Roblox game using one script. This is a tough one for us, right, guys? Like, there's one video, and it's had 20 hours to be in existence. It's already got 4 views. Make more videos would be mine.
Yeah, literally. So this is something that people have been doing in the chat, and I've been checking people's channels. Like, oh man, I'm trying all these things and it's not working and all this and that and stuff, or I'm not getting a ton of views. And YouTube is a long game. Mm-hmm. Just to be clear, when your channel is new, you haven't given enough time, and expecting, hundreds or thousands of views on your very first video. I'm not saying they are, but I'm just making this as an example. It's just not how it is. And I remember this. I remember being that guy. I remember being that guy when I dropped my first video, second video, third video, and being upset. Like I was genuinely upset. Like, where's all my views? I was that guy, right? So this just takes time. It's really what it comes down to. More than anything else, I like the fact that they've got an idea on what they want to do. Mm-hmm. But what's going to help them more than anything else is going to be getting videos out. But being that, I'm not sure if this is their first channel, but one thing I would say, make sure you're focusing on that viewer. What are the needs of that viewer? I wish somebody would have told me that when I first started on my first video, is like, hey, focus on that viewer. The very first video on my channel has nothing to do with my target audience now. Right. Because I didn't know. So, but that's one thing I would definitely recommend is focus on that. And then secondarily, make sure you are coming up with your titles and thumbnails first before you record. So have that idea in mind, get your title and thumbnail, and then turn your camera on or turn your voice recorder on.
All right, before we move on, can we dive a little bit deeper into that real quick? Because I saw a tweet from Sarah Dici, who is one of the biggest tech creators on the platform, and she said something similar about how she didn't realize that having a title and thumbnail before she made the video, it's so important, and it's been working for her. So Jeff, can you like go a little bit deeper into why that's so important?
Yeah, no, I mean, so that's the thing, right? And I've seen this happen so many times because many of us work backwards, and there's nothing wrong with that. But many of us work backwards. I did it for years, right? So the reason that I say this a lot is to get your video topic idea, hash it out, right? Make sure that it's actually a viable idea that people care. Do people care? Will people click? Yes? Cool. All right, let's come up with a title and topic, or the thumbnail and the title. But why, right? Because your title is going to play directly into how your script works out or the vibe of your video. So let's say that I record a video before I come up with my title, and it's a review for an iPhone, and then I want to title it, top 5 reasons you shouldn't buy an iPhone. Did I give people 5 reasons to not buy an iPhone? No, because I recorded a review. So had I had the idea for that title first, then I can go into it like a listicle and be like, hey, so here's 5 reasons you shouldn't buy an iPhone. Let's start with reason number 5. And I break it down like that. So having that title first if it has an opinion, whatever it might be, you're going to carry that energy of the title into the video. It's going to have consistency from the thumbnail, the title, straight into the video. And it's going to make that process so much easier. So the last thing I want anybody doing is recording a video and then getting to the upload window when you're uploading YouTube and be like, oh, what am I going to do about the thumbnail? Oh my God, what am I going to do about a title? You should already have that. You should already have all of that together. Mm-hmm. So if you're new, old, you've been creating videos forever, whatever it might be, definitely try to do that first. We
have some supers. I want to thank everyone for supporting all the free content we make here on the vidIQ channel. We have a super sticker here from Matthew. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Mephirotron?
Yes, there you go. Once it's said out loud, it's a cool name. It's just hard. Upsy Bear says, what can I do to improve my shorts? I'm a fan watching your videos, but I still think I want to improve. Yeah, thank you. So as we were talking about earlier with shorts, start watching some shorts and try to watch ones from your space. The places you want to be on YouTube, the creators you're kind of modeling your channel after. What kind of shorts are they making? And try and take note of how the first 3 seconds is. Like, what do they do in their intros that get people to stop scrolling? Because that's what you need. You need your intro to be really, really, really strong. Because you can have a great title and your short could freeze on a fantastic thumbnail. That's only one part of where people find shorts. And a lot of times people find your shorts in the scroll feed where they don't get to know the title before scrolling to it. So the first 3 seconds of your short or less, that's your title, that's your thumbnail.
Yep, you got to nail it.
And then learn storytelling. That's the other part too. If you want people to watch that whole thing, like, learn how to tell a story with whatever it is you're trying to do to get people engaged and get them not to swipe away. How can I improve my motivation while making a video?
So I'm going to tell you all right now that if you're relying on motivation, you're doing it wrong. Okay. And I'm speaking from personal experience with this. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. Motivation requires an emotional connection and for you to have fuel to get something that you want done or get something done in general. Discipline is having a structure in place that will allow you to get it done even when you don't have motivation. So when motivation leaves you, discipline will not leave you. Discipline is there because discipline cannot be messed with. It can't be, it doesn't rely on your emotion. So find some discipline. I'll give you guys an example. So me, I have started working out at 5 a.m. or in the hour between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. For the last 2 months, and I love it. And it has more to do with my discipline than motivation. I've set a structure and stuff for myself in place where I don't care how I'm feeling on a different day. If I decided I'm going to the gym, I'm setting an alarm for 5 a.m. I'm getting up and I'm going to the gym. I have my clothes ready. I have what I'm going to wear ready the night before. So when I get up that morning, all I got to do is grab the things I want to wear, grab my gym bag, and I'm out the door. And that is the structure of discipline that I have put in place for myself, that I set the alarm, I got the clothes ready, I'm out the door. It's nothing to do with motivation. So you got to take this and apply it to how you grow on YouTube and how you go about attacking YouTube. It ain't about motivation. Motivation will fail you at some point. Find yourself some discipline, find yourself some structure, and then that's when the real magic happens.
Really quick, I got to throw this in. Any additional super chats that come in from here on, there's a risk that they won't get read because we are short on time. Just throwing that out there for anybody who might be trying to throw one in at the last minute.
All right, we'll try to get through some of these quick, though. I do history videos with a twist. Can I do live streams of me reacting to YouTube's scary videos? Or will that violate terms? Thanks for the advice.
No, you can do that. You just have to be careful with copyright claims. That's the only thing. You have to make it transformational. So just you watching it without doing something to transform it, like stopping and commenting and stuff like that, you can totally do it. There's people who do reactions of scary ghost. I've seen it. I've seen it. I haven't seen it streamed. I'm sure there are people doing it, but I've seen these videos. So people can do that. You can do reaction videos to pretty much anything. So, but just whenever you're using content that you didn't make, you always run the risk of a copyright claim, a strike. You always run that risk. So just keep that in mind.
There you go. Would vidIQ consider having separate days for gaming channel audits and non-gaming channel audits? Not at this time. I think what would happen there is we would kind of break people up and put them in camps they don't need to be in. We have the two forms because Before, when we didn't, we were inundated with gaming channels because, as you see, there's exactly as many gaming channels today as there are non-gaming channels submitting. And we want to make sure people have variety, but we believe truly that the advice we give to one channel transfers to a lot of other channels here. You might not be making the same exact mistakes as the channel that's on the screen right now, but maybe the next channel you can learn a thing or two from. So whether you are a gaming or non-gaming channel, we want everyone to pay attention equally. We don't want people broken out into their own camps. We already don't love having the two forms, but we have to do it because in the past it was like the gaming channel live stream, and we wanted to make sure that we at least had a more variety, because there, as you saw today, we saw a channel with 600,000 subscribers who had such an interesting story compared to some of the other channels we've seen today, because they're coming from a totally different place, and we want moments like that.
Agreed.
Gaming channel, 521 subs in 3 months, but I've hit a block. Not sure I want to continue with this game at all. Where do I go? I feel lost.
Pivot.
It's time. And when you do, commit to it. You have viewers that like what you're doing right now. The goal is to play something similar, hopefully that they like, unless you're completely changing. Like, you're like, I don't even like this type of game anymore. Then, okay, that's fine. Whatever you do next, pivot and get ready to lose some views initially, because your videos are going to go out to the people who normally watch. They're not going to click because it's not what they subscribe for. You have to consider that as okay. You're going to upload anyway because you're trying to get new viewers now. Now your goal is to work past that, but try and make sure that you set up a structure for yourself so that if you run into this problem again, you're not kind of panicking about it. You kind of are always expecting it to happen based on the game you're playing, decisions you've made, whatever it might be. So whether that's playing a game that's more of a franchise that you can play for years and years and years because there's always like updates, or you're going to play a genre of game, that's constantly updating because that game gets popular and then it dies and it gets popular, and just pick up a structure for your channel and also commit to that.
Yep.
I've attempted to apply some things that vidIQ says, but since I just discovered you guys, wait, am I reading this right? I attempted to apply some things from vidIQ since I just discovered you guys. This year, I've managed to get over 60 subscribers, which I don't mind. There you go.
Nice. Yeah, keep it going, man.
Right. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing it.
Honestly, it feels like I've been doing YouTube for 10 years, but it feels like I'm not growing as much as I should be. Any tips?
You need to focus on the viewer. We've been saying it all live stream, but if you're not growing, there's a good chance that you are not focusing on the viewer. Your mindset is wrong. So when you make a video, just ask yourself, why would somebody watch this video? Like, what am I doing to bring a viewer into this particular video? If you can't answer that, then you need to probably go back and rework how that video is structured. But if you can clearly answer why somebody will watch the video, you're on your way. But you got to think about the viewer, because it's about what they want and what they need. It's not about what you as the creator want. It's about what the viewer wants, what the viewer needs, and how can the video serve the viewer.
Yeah. And you got to be honest with yourself, brutally honest with yourself about that.
It might be time to try something new as well. If you feel like you're spinning your wheels, nothing's happening the way you want it to, try a new direction, try some new things. Go out of your space a little bit, look at, different types of titles, different types of challenges, whatever it might be you're doing on your channel. It might be just time to try something new. We have one here from Steve's Small Engine Saloon. We've implemented many tips from vidIQ and they work. Everyone pay attention to these guys because they know what they're talking about. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you and congrats. And a couple more here from Carta. We have as a gaming channel, it is important to make your title. Is it important to make your title and thumbnail first? For me, it's way easier to make the thumbnail after make the video. A lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, it is easier.
It is. It's literally easier because you have assets now. You've recorded something. But you might be finding you're not getting views, right? Because did you plan your video? A lot of gaming channels, I'm not saying this is what this person's doing, but a lot of gaming channels like to do it this way. They turn on their recording software and they get on their microphone and they start talking and they start playing the game. But they don't really have a plan beyond, I have to get a video out on a Monday. So when you do that, you're not really catering your video to anyone. You're just following a schedule. You're just going into a routine and you're just kind of going into robot mode. And like, I'm just going to play the game and hopefully something cool happens. You can't make your title and thumbnail until you do the video in that process because nothing has happened yet. You don't know what's going to happen in the video. So what we're trying to encourage everybody to do, gaming channel or not, is plan your content. And you can stage this a little bit in games too. So this is why I always say in gaming, make a goal. if you don't know exactly what's going to happen yet because it hasn't happened yet, so it's hard to make the title and thumbnail. But if you have a goal in mind, now you have a pitch for your video. Now it's, I'm going to survive 100 days in Minecraft. Now a title and a thumbnail start to form in your head before you've recorded a single frame of video. So if you're having trouble because you want the gaming stuff to happen organically, you can do that, but you should always go into it still with a plan, still with a goal. And, you know, if you have to, even stage a couple little things along the way just to spice up the video a little bit. Like some of the top creators do this sort of thing. So yeah, everybody, if you can, plan out your titles and thumbnails first. You don't have to physically make them yet. If you literally need the images from the video to try and at least get a base going in Photoshop because you want a background or whatever, fine. In your brain, the thumbnail should be made.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to physically exist yet, just in your head.
Yeah, I was working with a woodworking channel. They can't create the thumbnail before they've worked the wood, right?
Right.
And that's the thing. So same thing for any other channel, whether it's like artwork or whatever it might be. If it has to be created first before you can actually create the thumbnail, fine. But have the thumbnail in here.
Yep.
Have it in here already. This way, when the video's done, you don't have to go, okay, so what am I going to do about a thumbnail now? No, you already know because you have a plan. You can make that thumbnail and get it done. So that's the key. So stop making excuses, right? And stop choosing the easy route.
Yeah.
I know it's going to hurt and I know it's more difficult, but it's worth it.
Great example, woodworking channel, because you would plan out the project you're crafting, right? Like you have a block of wood, you're going to sculpt it into something. You're not just going to start chiseling away or using saws and all kinds of crazy tools if you don't know what this is. You have an idea in your head as to what it's going to look like. Gaming videos are the same way. You should have an idea as to what you're trying to sculpt. And last one here before we get back to the channel reviews, I've seen a decrease in my viewership. What am I doing wrong? Hard to say without looking at the channel, but we've given a ton of advice today. Someone just a minute ago came up with a similar question. It might be time to try something new. Look into what you're covering on your channel, look into trends, look like maybe it was here, but now it's here. Like I've noticed with a lot of, especially gaming channels, a decrease in viewership can often mean a decrease in interest in the topic they're covering.
You just beat me to it. That's exactly what I was going to say. It could be that whatever it is that you're talking about is no longer as interesting to people, or the audience has moved on to something newer or something different. So understanding your audience and those types of shifts is difficult, but that could be what's going on. So I would look at whatever topic of video you're talking about. You can go into like Google Trends and type in whatever that topic is. And if you're noticing that it's a downtrend, could be time to move on.
Also, as I mentioned earlier on the live stream, if you have the vidIQ extension installed on your browser, do not ignore VPH. It's on your channel, it's on your neighbor's channel. So you can look at your own data and your own videos and see what's popping at that particular moment, or you can look at your other creators in your niche and see what's popping at time on their channel, and that VPH will help you figure out what content is relevant at that particular time. So don't sleep on the VPH because it can lead you to good places.
We're going to pick another gaming channel from the CLAAAAAW. It's 426.
Boy, the CLAAAAW is stuck in the 400s, isn't it?
Yeah. 426. That was not 426. 426. There we go. BCBERRY is doing live streams, evidently. Let's check it out. That was not it. That is not it. Let me try it one more time. This is Let's Plays and Guides.
If we can't get to the channel, man.
No, it's just my fault.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so 716 subscribers. Really awesome looking thumbnails here. They said they're doing some live streams. Looks like they are putting some work into their titles and thumbnails as well here. I'm going to rattle off some quick advice. If you guys want to jump in, feel free. So title and thumbnail wise, I like what you're doing on your long form videos. I like the gold EM2 is broken in Call of Duty Mobile. You have the gold gun. You have the word broken. You've done some overlapping elements here. It's just a really eye-catching thumbnail. This is the kind of stuff I want to see. You know, just really cool looking videos. I'd say you've been experimenting quite a bit with thumbnails, and it shows. The ones that are working for you, it definitely shows. There are some other games here that are older on your channel that have quite a few views. You know, is this a similar audience, UFC versus like, you know, Vanguard and Call of Duty, things like that. Hard to say, but you know, I'd be a little bit concerned if these videos are getting a lot of views today. Are they bringing in the wrong audience? Just something to look into. I would be a little bit concerned there. Live stream wise, and are you doing shorts? Yes. This is perfect. I want you to do something that I'm going to talk about here on, I think, Monday's video. I want you to create a gaming ecosystem. I want you to do your live streams. I want you to be constantly capturing clips with a replay buffer. And I want you to be saving those clips on your hard drive to edit as shorts. And I want you to use some of those clips as B-roll for your more scripted long-form videos. So that way, one live stream goes a really long way. You did one live stream, but now you have a whole bunch of content for your channel for the whole week, which is always a good thing to do. And then I want you to retitle your live streams a little bit. I think it's cool that you're using custom titles, custom thumbnails. You're not doing like a templated thing, but I do think these titles are a little too, it takes too long to get them to the point. Boxing Day, baby, 30-day sniper main challenge. The sniper challenge bit is the interesting part of your title. Just like a video, like you'd want that up front, right? Like that's the part that is going to set this live stream apart. You're doing a challenge. It's a sniper challenge. Boxing Day, maybe that's relevant. Maybe you talk about Boxing Day throughout the live stream. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in the title at all, unless, I don't know, there might be a specific reason for it, but you did hear Merry Christmas, Alcatraz tournament. Again, like if these are very specific to just that one live stream, maybe get rid of them. The sniper challenge, I think, here is like the main thing. It looks like the sniper challenge is something they do a lot. Stopping myself for a moment.
And you got the part numbers in your thumbnail.
Got it. Okay. So no, these started out like I did think they were going a different route with these. As I scrolled down, I realized, oh, you've only recently implemented these changes. Notice how the thumbnails and the titles were almost the same, and they've only just started to kind of make them a little more interesting. Okay, cool. So Sniper Challenge is basically what you do while you live stream. Can you set other goals for yourself during the stream? Is there anything else you can do to kind of separate these, break them up a little bit besides using part numbers? Do I need to watch live stream number 25 before I can enjoy 26? Probably not. So the part number isn't it. Keep working on these. Definitely keep crafting your titles and your thumbnails like you would videos. But even more importantly than that is make sure you're getting those clips. Make sure you're, trying to create that content ecosystem.
There you go.
I'm glad to see they're using the community tab too. This is good. Ask your viewers questions about the game. Your viewers are fans of this game. Ask them about it. Ask them what their favorite gun is. Ask them what their favorite map is. Ask them everything you can possibly think of. Don't use the community tab to do what you're doing here and just post when you go live. YouTube's already got you covered there. This is really good real estate, and you can get a lot more engagement than 1 like or 2 likes on these posts. The reason you're not getting a lot of engagement is because YouTube's already covering you. You're posting this at the same time you're going live. YouTube's like, I'm just going to show people the live thumbnail, man. Relax. So polls and image posts and things like that, show people really awesome headshots you got or a score at the end of the game that looks really good or reflects poorly on you. Have fun with it. But yeah, make it about them. Don't constantly use your community tab to just promote your live streams. It doesn't, obviously, like with the likes we're seeing here, these are not getting the reach that you want them to get.
Yeah. It has to be specific to your viewers, right? Take advantage of polls, picture polls, even better. Or if you're going to post anything, just don't make it about your videos or your streams. Like seriously, that's not what it's for. That's literally misuse of you're wasting time doing that. So this goes for everybody. This isn't just for gaming. This is for literally every single niche, being that community tab has become available for pretty much everyone. Ask your audience specific questions that are relevant to them. If you're a wood carving channel, ask them what their favorite saw is or what their, whatever their favorite tool is. If you're doing makeup and beauty, ask them what's their favorite brand or what do they prefer for eyeshadow or whatever it might be. But ask those questions that are specific to them that give them a reason to engage. Because if you just told us, hey, I dropped a new video, why are they going to engage with that? They can go engage with the video. So think about that. So hopefully that makes some sense to everybody, but take advantage of it.
Viper, earlier, I talked about all kinds of ways people can keep up with vidIQ. I neglected to mention the podcast. I apologize. someone here in chat, I love the podcast, Viper. I believe you're the reason my channel gained 1,000 subscribers. Tell everyone a little bit about Tube Talk.
Yeah, so Tube Talk, we have new episodes that come out every Thursday morning, and they come out on all major podcast outlets. I interview people, different creators from inside the industry. They're not always on YouTube, and they're not always, they're creative, but sometimes they're business people. I had Jay Klaus, who does himself a creator scientist, on recently. I just had on Hayden Hilliard-Smith, who is the editor for Logan Paul, and was the editor for Logan Paul, and he edited for Mr. Beast as well. So we've been having some highly engaged conversations on the podcast. So if you are not listening to the vidIQ podcast, it's called Tube Talk. Again, available on all major podcast outlets. If you're not listening, you should, because there's some amazing conversation going on over on that podcast. This week, we're going to be talking to Emily D. Baker. I'm pretty sure most of y'all will know who that is. She's been on these live streams a few times. But yeah, podcast is where it's at. So definitely check us out.
There you go. Thanks, everybody. This was the last channel review live stream of the year, and then tomorrow is the last video review live stream of the year. So there's one more of these. We're doing that tomorrow. We're going to be going into your videos. We talked a lot about titles and thumbnails, getting people to click today. Tomorrow, we're going to try and keep them there. Once they click, we don't want them to go anywhere.
Inside your videos.
That was unsettling.
That wasn't creepy at all.
No.
Not at all.
I thought that was a good pitch. I thought it was nice and clean. I thought people might come check it out tomorrow.
Till I ruined it.
And now I think we're going to get maybe like 10% of the viewership we normally get on that last live stream of the year. So that's great. Worked really hard on that, but that's fine. It's not a problem.
No, but make sure you guys come through, man. Make sure you guys fill out the forms tomorrow morning. We do clear them out every single time. But yeah, we're going to be checking out your editing. We're going to be checking out whether or not you're using a robo voice. And if you're using a robo voice, you get roasted. So just giving you the forewarning. Just giving you the forewarning. But no, I really like the video streams. They're a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you guys pull up.
And yeah, we'll be creeps too.